Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Vobes show with me, your wonderful host, Richard Vobes. Yes, indeed, it's me. Another day. It's Friday, the 15th of November, 2019. It's a wet and miserable day out there. It's not terribly warm in here, but I'm hoping that with your warm hearts glowing, viewing me, then maybe I will warm up. And hopefully I can keep you entertained and amused, and you can assist me by chatting on the old chat box system, and we can have an hour's worth of absolute nonsense and get through another bit of the Friday evening before the wonderful weekend when the sun is going to shine. It is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be hot, and we're going to be dressed in just our Speedos and lying on the beach taking it easy. That is the plan. Mark Selwood is out there. We have Linda Kane, Andrew Norris. Hello, Andrew. We have Claire Leach. Hello, Claire. We have the lady in the shed. We have Peter May, Mark Donny McLeod. We have Robert Croser, the lovely Julia I have seen mentioned in all of this. I've got a new tiny little monitor in the studio. Let me show you the webcam here. Tiny monitor is just here. It is that big. And the lettering is titchy, really titchy. So different viewpoint on the webcam today. We'll come back to that a little bit later on. Every show I give you a different viewpoint on the webcam. First thing I need to know is, can you hear me and can you see me all right? Is it working? Are you getting it? Because if you're not getting it, and you'll have to talk to your doctor about that, whatever the reason is. Andy Dalgleish is there, Nigel Sadler, Jeff Kellison. We have Anne Osborne. Lovely to see all of you out there tonight, joining me in an impromptu show. Ladies and gentlemen, an impromptu show. I am trying during this cold patch to bring you 3 shows eventually, but for the moment, just 2 shows a week, Wednesday and possibly Friday. I'm keeping Friday for the moment as an impromptu show, and I hope that is. I hope that's all right. So let's see who else is there. We've got Cynthia's camera. We've got Jenny Smythe. We have Laura Riddle. Lara Riddle. I beg you. Laura Riddle. There we go. We have Ernie Samet, and so on and so forth. Any thoughts on buying a narrow boat? Says Jenny Smith. Smith. I beg your pardon. I said Smythe, didn't I? Smith. Yes, very much so. I've seen some for around about 35 grand, between 35 and 45 grand. I'm at this time of the year, probably not the best time to think about buying them because it's cold and chilly, and the last thing you want to do is buy something and then end up going to it and thinking, oh my God, I'm frozen stiff. What have I done? I think the plan is in the spring, subject to the lovely Julia's availability and Joseph, is that we may go and venture on another canal boat, on a different canal, for another week, or maybe longer, depends, and assess the situation a bit more. I think it would be quite rash if one was to just leap into the thing. I've got to just change my glasses. I've got the wrong glass. Probably won't be able to see the screen now. Here we go. Oh yes, that's a lot more blurry. These are my stage glasses, ladies and gentlemen. These are the stage glasses. The reason is they're supposed to be able to, you'll be able to see my eyes more clearly and less reflections, apparently. I've had these for a while, but they're not as clear. In other words, I put them on, I'm just as blind. I may as well have them off. But there we go. Lady in the Shed says, just call me Vicky. Sorry, Lady in the Shed. Yes, just going to call you Vicky. That's very good. Let's just go back a bit to some of the things we've got. Linda says she can hear us loud and clear, which is marvellous. Laura says she can too. And that's perfect. Well, that's great. That's great because sometimes in the week the studio gets pulled down and I use the lights for other things and then they have to rebuild it for the shows. So that's no good. Andrew Norris says loud and clear in Croatia, which is fantastic. By the way, I have seen an image of Andrew Norris's flat, ladies and gentlemen, from the outside. He hasn't yet bravely taken us inside his flat, but I have seen his flat from the outside, and a rather beautiful river or canal or big stream, a trickle of water, a very wide trickle of water. And you'll be very pleased to know that you guys are going to see that as well a little bit later on in the show, so don't go away. We're going to see a little bit of Andrew Norris, not live, pre-recorded, And the idea is that we want to see more of you lot. This show I want to make as interactive as possible. Also, the lovely Linda Kane has sent, not Linda Kane, I beg your pardon, not the lovely Linda. Linda Kane has sent in some, we talked about the other day, the pot black, whatever it was, the stuff for the stuff, which I have yet to do, Linda. I didn't mean Linda, I meant Elaine Brazier. Linda Kane and Elaine Brazier, they're swappable people. Not really, of course not. Linda Kane, doing it again. Elaine Brazier has sent in some photographs. These are the close-ups, the slightly back, and then the reveal. What is the object in the photograph? There's probably a more catchier name. What is the object? But we're going to play that today and see if you can guess what it is, which is great. We have audio and visual, says Donnie McLeod. Donnie McLeod. Yes, Mark. It says Mark. Let's just fade down here a little bit. Mark Selwood says, I need to take back those budgie smugglers I bought last week. Thanks for reminding me. What budgie smugglers are those? I must have missed that. Lara says, hello, Richard. Hello, Lara. Lovely to see you. Camper van, good idea and cheaper to run, says Vicky, because there's this debate going. Should we go with why don't go with both? Why not both? That would be useful, wouldn't it? I still like Airbnbs. The comfort of an Airbnb is very nice as well as a camper van. So there's so many things in the air. I've got to sell my dad's house before I've got any money to do anything like that. And it's still, it's going along. It's trickling along. I should think by the end of 2021, I may get about 10 grand to be able to invest in something, which would be rather nice. I can tell you. Linda Kane says mystery object. Yes, a mystery object. What's in the photograph? Mystery object. Tally ho, says Richard. Good evening on this wet Friday. My partner Lorraine is a fan of yours. Ernie, I'm so pleased. Do say to Lorraine, hello. Hello, baby. Nice to see you. Have you got the gravy, baby? Maybe you have. My lovely daughter, by the way, the lovely Georgie, who is in the house. Georgie is in the house, but she has gone upstairs with a bottle of wine alone. It's her first proper evening that she's had to relax. She's been here, there, and everywhere. And then when she's not had a few moments to herself, I've come along and said, here, George, would you make a video with me? Oh, if I have to. He said, yes. She asked me earlier, what are you going to do for the weekend? I said, I've got to make bloody videos, haven't I? I have to keep going out making videos. It never stops. It never ruddy stops. I don't know. Half a pint? That's very nearly an armful. Oh, dear. Robert Croser says no to a narrowboat, which is fair enough. I suppose that's because there's not very many narrow canals up in Cumbria. Are there any canals in Cumbria at all? I know you have that railway line that you were very keen to show me, the Jubilee and something line, or the Newcastle to Newport line, or whatever it was. What was the name of that railway that you kept going on about that we should... Actually, I wish we'd gone on it rather than gone to that flaming monastery. That would have been a much. You should have twisted my arm more. I am coming back to Cumbria, Robert Croser, and we are going to go and make some more videos. It's great fun. Robert is a good laugh. I, on the other hand, can be quite miserable, as he found. But I did take some of those wibbly-wobbly corners as we went through Galloway's and Dumfries. Rather rapidly on those rainy days. Poor old Robert was clinging onto the car as I was zooming along at about 85 miles an hour on these single-track roads. It was great fun. Robert Croser says, it's not wet, just cold. Up where he is. Thanks for the great video with Georgie earlier, Andy Dalglish. That's my pleasure. It's so nice. I'm so pleased that people have taken to that and found that of some interest. I did have a message on YouTube. Somebody said, on the first one I did, somebody said, it was so nice, it was very sweet. And they said, love that video you did with Georgie. I have got an 18-month-old baby who, a daughter or son, I can't remember. And I want them to travel the world and open their eyes so that they're open to lots of things. I will show them your video, 18-month-old baby. I will show them your video when they're 18 years old. And I thought, no, you won't. For all we know, in 18 years in time, well, of course, we'll all be underwater, won't we, for one thing, if you believe any of this nonsense from extreme whatever they are, extreme survival. You know, what are they called? Extreme death on the Nile, I think they're called, aren't they? Annihilation under the mountain tops are melting. The earth is crumbling. Whales will vanish into the sea. Mind you, a lot of whales are already in the sea, so that doesn't really matter, does it? As long as you don't go down their blowhole, you'll be all right. So that's okay. Robert says, oh yes, the Seattle and Carlisle line. Settle, not Seattle. Seattle's in America. The print. I have enough trouble when the print is on the big screen. This is on a tiny little screen here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you. Hang on a minute. Let me get the webcam. Just a second. I'm going to show you. This is a monitor that was sent in by one of my lovely viewers a while ago. Here we go. Look, here is the monitor. It looks very big. There's a little bit of feedback. But here's, if I just move this round to give you perspective. There's me, okay? And here is the monitor, my hand on the monitor. That is the size of the monitor. It's a titchy monitor. And it's blooming titchy. That's all I can say. But I've tried it out just to see if I could get the chat on a separate monitor that's not too big and not in front of the screen. It's because of the resolution, and I did try changing the resolution, and of course all it happened is it made it smaller, which was a bit daft. Anyway, there's that view again, different view of the studio. There we are. It's nice, isn't it? Julia says, what makes you an embarrassing dad, Richard? I don't know. What makes me an embarrassing dad? Are you an embarrassing dad or mother? Have you embarrassed your children? Love to find your stories about that on today's show. Why not go with it? Let's go with it. What's the most embarrassing thing you've done that your children have found embarrassing? Or what's the most embarrassing thing you've done anyway? The most embarrassing thing, I'll tell you the most embarrassing thing I've done. I am not proud of this. I'm ashamed of this. But when I was a young kid, this is embarrassing, actually. I don't know whether I should tell you. I may hold this back. Robert says, Richard is the embarrassing dad. My daughter's saying, I'm just a freak of nature. Oh, right. Hello, mucker, says Stephen Blakey. Hello, Stephen. Epic X Presents has got his thumbs up. Thank you, Epic. Lovely to see you there. Georgie sure doesn't think he's embarrassing. No, quite. Georgie's actually, in a quiet way, quite proud of her daddy. Georgie even, that's right. Julia says, oh, good grief. She's struggling with the keyboard today. Let's just go back. I've missed a few cues here. Robert says, take Nicky's hat. Something about that. Budgie smugglers came from your own mouth. Oh, yes. I think that... Did you take them back? Did you take them back? Do you take them back? Those. You see, the trouble is I can't remember what I've done in this show, and I do tend not to watch the end results because it means I've got to watch more of me. I see enough of me on the edit suite when I've gone out doing, hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer. When I'm being the other version of me, you know, the more sensible version. I had an email the other day that came in and they said, oh, hello, lovely Richard. Hello, lovely Julia. Hello, lovely Joseph. Really love your shows, your Bald Explorer. Love it when you go out and do all this, that and the other. That's lovely. But please give up the DJing, give up the music. And what was the other thing? Give up the comedy act, somebody said. It is not appreciated. Yeah, no, I get these emails. I get emails which, should be on the thumb down list. But every now and again, but thick skin, doing this for so long, you get a bit of a thick skin. You go, well, whatever, throw it at me. And it's probably all true. It's all true. If you said that, we've seen Richard out and about in bed with pygmy sharks. I don't know if you've seen pygmy sharks or Australian basset hounds, in the mud, naked in the mud with Australian basset hounds. All I would say is, yeah, it's all true. You may as well live up to the myth, mightn't you? You may as well just own it up. I've always thought that. I've always had that policy in my mind. If somebody, wanted to blackmail you, I used to get these emails saying things like, oh, we know what websites you've been looking at, Mr. Vobes. We know. We have a camera and we've got footage of you pleasuring yourself as you viewed these websites, you see. Now, I'm not going to say whether or not I've actually visited these websites that they're suggesting I may have or may not have done here live on the show, but the interesting thing was that if I had visited any of these so-called websites, whatever they are, probably about, taking your exhaust pipe off the back of your car, those sort of websites, when you've got one of those big, nice, long chrome things. Anyway, when they go on about that and these emails saying, oh, we know, we've got the video of it to prove it, I think, well, if I had gone to those websites, for one thing, I would have gone on my office computer. That's the only computer I would have done. I don't tend to do much web surfing on my editing thing, and I wouldn't do it in here because it's too cold and it's more complicated. So my office one is the place I would go and do anything nefarious in any shape or form. And the interesting thing about that is there is no webcam attached to it. They assume, these people, they assume that you have a webcam, and they're just fishing. But I just say, yeah, no, that's me. Yeah, publish it. If you've got pictures of me pleasuring myself, it might actually make the papers, might make me famous. People love all that sort of stuff. I always think, whatever it is, just say yes, because mostly, if you own up to these things, if you own up and somebody says something rather than, unless you actually are, a murderer or a children fiddler, a kiddie fiddler or something like that, obviously they're horrendous. But if you were in uncompromising positions with a member of the opposite sex or even the same sex or an animal or something, well, nothing that's illegal, and they're trying to blackmail you, I would say publish them. And the reason I would say that, yes, it would be embarrassing, talk of embarrassing things, it would be embarrassing, but actually, I think if you own up to it and you just say, yeah, no, actually, yeah, I did that, I made a mistake, it's true, I think people have a lot more respect. Some people will go, oh, look at him, oh, I didn't know, oh, what am I going to do? But to other people, I think, would just have a bit of respect if you say, do you know what? And I think that's what politicians should do when they get found out. They, instead of trying to muffle over everything and go, no, I think they should just own up and say, yeah, actually, our policies were rubbish. We thought we were doing the right thing. They were rubbish, but we have learnt from it. And, you can go, okay, because people make mistakes. That's the thing. Everybody makes a mistake. Anyway, enough of that gay banter. Assuming it was gay banter, it may not have been gay banter, of course. Embarrassing Dad, thanks for the great video. Oh, yes, let's get back down to where we were. Robert Croster, yeah, no, I wasn't talking about actually what you've just said. The Veg Grower Podcast, Richard Suggett, who is the number one podcaster in the podcast lists at the moment, currently knocking off Radio 1's international podcast, The Funniest Things That Happened on the Way to the Radio 1 Studio podcast, which tell you a lot of funny things did happen. Apparently, I was listening to the Radio 1's all the funny things that happened to me on the way to the Radio 1 Studio podcast when apparently he tripped over a bus, whoever it was, the presenter, tripped over a bus on a zebra crossing. Didn't think that was terribly funny myself, but Richard Suggett, who is up there above all of that now, award-winning, he to be honest with you, Richard has more medals now and those big trophy cups, those big gold cups, than Mia Farrow, Gary Lineker, and who's the other one with the Blade Runner, whatever he was, not the one that murdered his girlfriend in the bathroom, not him. It's funny, we don't talk about him anymore, do we? It's funny, he was whatever his name is, he was quite famous for a bit, wasn't it? Then he decided he'd murder his girlfriend and thought he'd get away with it because he's got no legs. But, no-legged murderer still gets behind bars. So that was good. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, Richard Suggett. He says he's on my way to the pub to see his band again. Rather than watch the old Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi, he says this time the pub is next to Vobes Towers. Oh, is he next to are you in the what's it called? I can't even remember the name. The Castle Inn. Are you in the Castle Inn? No doubt he'll be knocking on my door later after the show, after watching the band, drunk and disorderly, going, "Oh, Richard, there's a Veg Grower Podcast. I've just been having a few cabbages in my alcoholic cabbage soup. So I'm going to close the lights down and lock the doors, barricade myself in." Peter May says he loves it when Richard goes off on one. I've been told, cut the comedy act. The comedy act is not welcome. It's not appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. I have been told by those that know better than me. And of course, I am meek and mild and I know when to stop. Mark says, publish and be damned. Exactly. Publish and be damned because I think if you call people's bluff, if you call their bluff, basically they've, what do they do? Oh, damn, I've got nothing on you. Well, or you announce it publicly yourself beforehand. So, if you've been, I don't know, if you've been doing something, been visiting ladies of the night, for example, in the daytime. It's easier in the daytime. You can see where you're going. It's nothing worse, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've ever done this. Nothing worse than visiting the house of a lady in the night, lady of the night, I'm sorry, and you're going up the street and you've got on a scruffy bit of paper, maybe you've seen it in a phone box or something, and you've got this scruffy bit of card, which last time you were in London, you got one out the phone box, because in the old days they used to do that. By the way, YouTube tells us we're not allowed to make these videos for children. You have to sign a declaration, just so you know. So children can't be watching this at the moment. Anyway, these ladies of the night, they're very nice ladies, of course. They're very personal and friendly, very friendly, these ladies, apparently. But if you've ever done this, you grab this, it's very difficult at night time. You've got a bit of paper and it says 25 Acacia Avenue, in case you want to come up and see me sometime, baby. And you think, yes, actually, I would like to come up and see you sometime, baby. But it's very difficult at night time, in the middle of the night, walking down this, dark alley to wherever this lady of the night lives, and you're looking for 21 or 29, whatever the number it was. I can't even read it now. It's gone. Where is it? What number is it? And you're looking at the thing, and you get your torch out, and there's Mrs. Jones looking over, going, "What you got your torch out, dear, for? Oh, is this number 21? No, 37 now. Beat it." Oh, I'm so sorry. Just looking for 21. Oh, you're looking for 21? No, 21. 29 it was. 29. Oh, no, wait a minute. She was 29, 36, 24. That's a strange shape. Anyway, that's just a series of flats that you have to go through to get to the... So I would say go and visit the ladies in the night. Actually visit them in the daytime. And also, in the daytime, let's face it, you might see that actually they're not quite as seductive, in daytime with the pockmarked skin and lots of, what are these things that you put on the black stuff they shove around the eyes? Mascara, thank you very much. They may not, you may not quite, may actually turn around and go, do you know what, now I've seen you, it says here, you're a 29-year-old, buxom, this, that and the other, but actually, I'm looking at you, you look like, instead of 29, you're more like 92. Actually, I'll save my threepence halfpenny, and go, so where did we get onto this? I don't know. Anyway, bluff. Keep the comedy coming, says Epic. People need to smile. Very true, that's right. Richard's in the pub, says Vicky. The lovely Julia is laughing her socks off, which is nice. I'm very pleased to see that. Nigel Sadler is going ha-ha. I'm not quite sure what that's in reference to, but I'm very pleased that he is having a ha-ha moment. Well, it's rural up here, as you know. It is very rural up there, Robert Croser. And Nigel Sadler says, phone him up and try to, in mid-course correction, he's losing... I'm always losing direction. This show is a ramble of nonsenseness. Full steam nonsenseness. This is why I like doing the impromptu shows. I love it doing the shows with a guest, and with the lovely Julia, of course. She keeps me on track. But when it's a sort of free hold, it's a sort of souped up Naked Englishman on steroids, that kind of show. Naked Englishman, by the way, for those that don't know, is my personal podcast, which is a stream of consciousness. I had an email the other day. Some people know this. I've mentioned this in the Naked Englishman podcast itself. Somebody said, I was listening to your Naked Englishman podcast, which is a stream of consciousness, and that's how I always promote it, because I sit down at the microphone, I just sort of, got a subject or talking about my day, whatever it is, and if I've got something on my mind, it's just as it comes, stream of consciousness. And then this chap said, rude chap, he said, I was listening to your Naked Englishman, I know it's a stream of consciousness, but I do wish you would think before you speak. And I did look at that and I reread it again. I thought, there's an oxymoron, aren't you? It's a stream of consciousness. It's supposed to be. The whole object is that you haven't sat down and thought about it before you spoke. Otherwise, you'd be sitting there at the old typewriter, ding, ding, scripting it out and making it perfection personified. And then you'd only get like once in a blue moon. Anyway, enough of this. It sounds like Mrs. Cohen has a son called Brian, does he? Oh, I'd rather visit a house of ill repute, says Mark Selwood. I would rather visit an house of ill repute. Yes, well, you can visit a house of ill repute. That could be all sorts of things. That might just be a house that's not actually been tidied up recently. Who knows? How is Nicky Mark? How is Nicky Mark? Yes, how is Nicky Mark? Who is Nicky Mark? That's what I'd like to know. It could be me knocking at your door during the show, says Dean Cooper. You'd be very welcome. Are you in the area, Dean? If you're in the area, you can pull up a Nimbus and sit next to me, which would be nice. Mark Selwood is just retracted a message. I'm sure that was very rude. Lady in the Shed says, don't send your podcast to him anymore. Do you know, some people are sneaky. Some people are sneaky because they give me a different email address and then they send their email on a different email address and you go, oh, I see. Who are you then? And I look at the email address that I send the podcast out to and they're not on it. And then what do? You're stuffed. You can't suddenly find who it was. And also they're using a different name. I've had some very odd emails over the last 14 odd years that I've been doing this nonsense. And 14 years? Did you hear that? Yes, that's right. Since 2005... 2005 have been podcasting and having correspondence with people like you and then doing web shows and bits and pieces and all that. It's amazing, isn't it? Mark Selwood says, Nikki is lovely, Robert. She will catch up on the show later, which is very nice. I think we should go to a bit of a bit of real video. We should have a bit of real video now in the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna find out from Elaine Brazier what she's got up nice and close to, deep and personal with shortly. But before all of that, ladies and gentlemen, I've been asking people to go out with their telephones. If you've got one of these cableless telephones that you can connect using an aerial to a cellular beacon, which will beam the signal. If you've got one of these things that has one of those built-in photography things that can take very nice photographs, well, it also has some ability to record motion picture as well. We've been asking people to go out and just tell us a little bit about what they're up to or where they are or a little thing. A 30-second vlog. A 30-second vlog, wherever you are, just to send in to me. Send it via wetransfer.com. As in, you and I. We transfer, as in move. Put the two words together, one word. wetransfer.com. Do it on a PC, best way. And you can send it to me, richard@vobes.com. And you just sort of go, hi, Richard, I'm just baking some sandwiches for my brother, who does like his sandwiches slightly warmed up. Anyway, no sooner had I announced that I would like these to come into the show and be interactive so people can do it. We did have somebody who has just done just that, if I can get the words out so they make sense. Lovely, lovely Andrew Norris, who's coming over to the UK at the end of the month to join us for a Bold Explorer walk, which may be, by the way, in Devil's Dyke. That's news for everybody, but that's maybe where it is. Anyway, let's see what Andrew has to say over in Croatia.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Julia. My name's Andrew Norris. I'm filming in Zagreb in Croatia. Behind me is my flat, but in front of me is the River Sava, very flooded at the moment. So I come out here to take my dog for a walk every morning, listen to the Naked Englishman podcast, and I have all this space to myself early in the morning. It's a real joy. Catch you later.
How about that? Fantastic, Andrew. So nice to see you there. And so nice to have you out there also. So there we are. We saw Andrew's flat and we saw that large body of water. Wasn't that lovely? Fantastic. We want more of those in the show to pepper up the show. Little pieces that we can play in. 30 seconds, maybe up to a minute if you're really, really interesting. We don't want these sort of 5-minute boring things where it's, it's dull and as dishwater. Something entertaining. But, just like that, Andrew's got it absolutely perfect. We get an insight then to all the lovely people who are watching and participating, because this show is all about you guys and anybody who happens to be new and has joined us and watching. You are also included. I want to be as inclusive as I can. This is not, although it may seem that it's a little bit clicky, not cliche. It was very cliche. Of course, it's very cliche. Who do you think's doing it? It's going to be cliche, but a clicky and whatever the other word, I can't remember what I was trying to say. But, it's not. We want to open it up and just like the Bold Explorer group that we've got, which is very inclusive and welcomes people, and people are absolutely fantastic when they do that. So we want some of that. So that would be good. Robert Croser, you could do one of those. You know how to do it. Mark Selwood, I'm expecting a little, hello, Richard. I'm down here in Cornwall. Richard, it's good here, isn't it? It's beautiful, isn't it? We want some of that. Judith says, sorry I'm late. No worries, Judith. You've just missed the very lovely Andrew Norris, who stepped into the studio, stood by a little bit of green screen, and we put a bit of Croatia behind him. Because he doesn't really live in Croatia. That's just an act. It's just an act. He lives in Surbiton. He's in a big country palatial Georgian house in Surbiton by the Thames. That river there was just a little bit of the Thames. It's just an act. But anyway, you missed that, Judith. It's a bit of a shame. Francesco Bellringer says, I'll do that for you, Richard, one day. Make sure you do. That would be fantastic. Thank you very much. Vicky says, I'm sad I can't do that with my camera. Why not? You must be able to. You bung it onto Facebook. All you've got to do is the same thing. Same file, just send it to me via wetransfer.com. I need to get up some more little labels like this where it says Richard Vobes with all the details. But that's not. Maybe somebody could type it in www.wetransfer.com. That's where you do it, and then put my email richard@vobes.com, and people will know. Lady says, but I do my cooking shows on the group page. Yes, well, you could do that. You could just go, hello, Richard, it's Vicky here. I'm just about to do a cooking show. Today I'm going to be cooking lamb chops with Basil and Brian. Poor old Basil and Brian, they don't know what they're doing. And that's all it need be. Something little short, maybe show us, big cake you've just bought or something, Linda Kane says, good to see you, Andrew. Thought you lived in a village. Do you know, I thought he lived in a village, and then he said, that's my flat. And I thought, wait a minute, we do, don't we? We see him wandering around all the buttercups and the orchids, and then we see these people ploughing the fields, when actually he's in the metropolis. He's in the metropolis in Croatia. He said that there's no countryside there whatsoever. I want to know what's going on. It's all a myth. It's all a myth. But it's a very good one, Andrew. We love it. Maybe I could do a little video, says Claire Leach. It'd be lovely, Claire, if you could do a lovely little video. Now, of course, there are some little skimpy outfits that we could ask you to... No, don't be silly. But a nice little video would be fantastic from anybody. Anyone just to say hello. It's very inclusive. It gives a chance that other people get to see who you are. You see, because in the Vogue show, you're just names on a screen. But it's quite nice to go, oh, now we know what Andrew Norris looks like. Mark Selwood, of course. We want him dressed up as a dominatrix. That would be good. Mark, can you do a dominatrix, please? In all that lovely PVC and those chains. It's beautiful, isn't it? I'm beautiful, isn't I? Isn't it? Isn't it? Is this? So something like that would be fantastic, Mark. Ed Loud says, wow, first time I've caught the Vobe show. Hello, Ed. You are very welcome. Thank you so much for coming along. We're trying to get people to do a little recording on their phone, send it to me, and then, we would play it in. That's the object of the exercise. Linda Kane says it's a beautiful village. Is it a second home? And Barbara Charles says, I'm late. Barbara Charles, hello to you. It's very nice to see you. Thanks very much. Or Charles Barbara. I forget which way round it was now. Okay, Richard, I'll send it via WhatsApp. You can... it means I've got to get it off my phone. It's a lot more complicated for me if I get it. Can you not send it via... You can do it on your phone, but just send it to what... WeTransfer... on your email. You should be able to do that. Do it on a web page on your phone, on a full web, not a mobile one. That would be great. Claire, really pleased for you after the good news. What is the good news, Claire? Share the good news. Kevin Hall. Hello, Richard. Kevin here. Just bought a new van. Only the clutch has gone on this new van already. I've only had it 5 minutes, so I'm going to send it back and I'm going to get another van. Oh, marvellous. This van will have enough space for a ladder, Richard. Enough space so whenever you come round, you can climb that ladder right to the top and fall off. Oh, thanks, Kevin. That's very nice of you. Linda Kane says, more watchers than usual tonight. Oh, it's so nice to see all these lovely watchers out there. It is the Vobes Show Watch Appreciation Night. You may not have known that. Friday night is Watchers Night. You get your watches out, you set the time, and an hour later, who knows what happens. It's time now, ladies and gentlemen, I must point out. I don't know whether you happen to notice that, how we managed to get there. It's at 8:36. It's time to see something close up from an angle you don't normally see, and I would like you, the lovely viewer, to identify the object. I can't tell you whether it's vegetable, mineral, or animal. You've got to guess that. It's time to do it. Kevin All says, I never get WeTransfer to work. No, Kevin, you for some reason you don't go to www.wetransfer.com. There are other versions. You must go to that one on a browser. If you do it on your mobile phone, for some reason it goes somewhere else. I don't know how you make that mistake. Anyway, I will show you one. I will show you how to do it using the old tippy-tappy hands. The thinking fingers will show you how to do it. Are we all going to have a go, says Markwood. Yes. Andy Joy says, hello, I'm late as usual. No worries, Andy Joy. It's a joy to have you here anyway. Kevin All is guessing already. Is it a kangoo? A kangoo. Kangoo. Is that where you go? Kangoo. No, WeTransfer, not kangoo. Fool. Blooming fool. Right, we're going to have a look at Lane Brazier has sent in some lovely pictures of an object. We're going to see if we can identify it. Here we go. Here is the first picture. Now, that is it. I would like, if you can, to identify what that is. What do you suppose, ladies and gentlemen, that could possibly be? I'm going to leave it on the screen for a moment whilst you guess. Luke Selkirk is there. He says, are you thinking of a kangoo for your van? For your van? Excuse me, I just lost my voice then for a moment. The Sally Train Spotter and the Bell Ringer. I'm a bell ringer at Croydon and Addington. Bong, bong. By the way, that's the first picture. If anyone wants to, I just left it up there on the screen. Lovely to see the bell ringers are in. Hell's bells, boing, whoa, boing, whoa. It's fantastic. Lovely to have the bell ringers there. I need to. There's a chap called Luke up in Luton. Luke from Luton, who's very keen to get me up. He broke his finger the other day. I think one of the 1,000 weight bells fell on his finger, which is a bit of a shame, and smashed it right up to smithereens. He's got it all in splinters now, and he's wrapped it up with bandage tape, and it's looking pretty good, I have to say. Not that I've seen it, but he wants me to go up to Luton and ring the bell of, I think it's St. Mary's, is it? Or St. Barnabas or somebody. So that would be nice. Ed Loud says, Nigel Sadler, I was thinking just that. KFC. Oh, yes. Good guess. Let's have a look, see what people are. Lady in the Shed says, plant climber on a brick wall. Is that what it is? Okay, well, let's just get the guesses come in for a moment. Poppy seed head, says Peter May. That's a good guess. My hub has gone down, boo. Oh, your hub. I thought that was short for my hubby has gone down. Didn't want to know quite where he'd gone down, to be honest with you. Marvin Hicks. That's what the lady of the night gave me. Yes, I'm not surprised. You be careful next time. You need to get those little balloons and use them. If you stick them on your head, you won't be able to find the house. That's how I always think it works. What else have we got here on the guess? What the object was. The Sally Train Spotter and the Bell Ringer says, by the way, it's salty, as in salty chips. Oh, sorry. The lettering on this screen, I don't know whether you were here at the beginning. Here's the webcam, look. There we are, look. The lettering that I have to try and read is microscopic. Here's my hand in comparison. All right, you see how big that is? That's how big I've got to deal with. I'm trying to read, so I apologise if I misread things. I'm bad enough when it's big lettering. But yes, salty, I beg your pardon. The Salty Bell Train Spotter. Why Salty Train Spotter? Are you by an ocean or something where salt water is spraying all over you? Andy Frierson says vegetable samosa. That's a good guess, actually. That's a very good guess. It's not right, but it's a good guess. I like that. Any clues for the close-up, says Vicky Allen? Yes, of course. Here we are. Have another look. have another look at that and just see if you can guess it. I think this is great because I know what it is, and I thought, well, they're going to get that immediately. They'll know exactly what that is. But we will get a second version in a minute where we pull out, but I still want to get more guesses in if that's possible. Got to string this out for at least 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Fancy popping down the pub after the show, Richard, he says. Oh, well, that's nice. Mine's a pint. No, mine, I could drift round and say hello. I don't want to be late, though, I don't want to be late, but it would be lovely. I'll come after the show. See, I've got a date. I've got a date, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Suggett and I, we're like that now, you know. Oh, hello, Richard. Hello, Richard. Hello, Dickie. He calls me Dickie, you know. He calls me Dickie. Dickie Vobes. That's my my other name, my other persona. When you know, you think that I'm just this, you know, all-round stable chap who is pretty square, goes out, looks at the countryside, makes a few videos, does this crazy Vobe show. But oh no, what you don't know is Dickie Vobes, Vumph. I put on my sparkly number and I nip round the old pub there. Good job it's not the Jack Horner anymore. But it's at the castle. I go down the castle and they're all going, oh, hello, Dickie. Hello. You're looking flushed. I have different glasses. It's, you know, like Dame Edna Edridge, you know, the ones that stick out like this. And I put on my little purple wig. I have actually got a purple. I suppose you want to see the purple wig now, don't you? Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can get the purple wig. Hang on, I'm just going over to the purple wig department. I don't normally like to show this on the show because, you know, it is embarrassing, of course. But this is the purple wig. I shall be wearing this down the pub with my lovely frock. Got to get this the right way round, like this. Hang on a minute. There we go. That's kind of it. I think that's hello. I say, oh, no. My name's Dickie Vobes. Yes, it's nice to see you. And I go up to old Snugget, who we call Snuggy. That's a bit like Snug and Cosy, that, isn't it? Snuggy. Hello, Snuggy. And he goes, oh, Cosy, you slimping slam schlup. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And he goes, Richard, what are you doing? Why have you dressed up like that? I don't know. I'm come to see you because we're going down the pub, aren't we? Ain't we? Anyway, back to more serious things. We're not allowed to do comedy on this show. I have been told by one of my non-viewers that comedy is off. It's off. We mustn't do comedy. No, let's have another look at that picture. That's the picture. What have we got so far? Show the syrup, says Mark. What's it all about, says Daniel. Well, poor old Daniel. A bit innocent. Andy says, stunning. Good accents, my lad, says the salty train spotter, which is great. Peter May says, my God, it's the lovely Julia in drag in a wig. Now, don't be rude. Don't be rude, Blue. Don't be rude. Lady in the shed. Who else is hidden in that cupboard? There is, in that cupboard, many skeletons. And over the next 20 years, I'm sure they'll all be exposed. Everything, my whole life will be exposed. Exposed, I'll tell you. Can't have that. Mark Sewers says, Richard Suggett, you must make a right pair, you and your purple hairdo. Exactly. So you're no rude Paul, says Claire Leach. Oh, good. I don't even know who Rude Paul is, but I'm sure he's very rude. The lovely Julia's tried to tell me about Rude Paul and this car race they do, the American cars. You know, these cars that are really low on the ground. And he does this show with these drag cars, apparently. It's a race. I've never actually seen it. Apparently they all dress up with wigs and things, and they're in this drag race in America with the sand all washing around them. It's all very good. So that's all right. How infuriating. I must email and write to Richard. No comedy. How dare you, says Mark Selwood. Absolutely no comedy. Can't remember what we were doing, actually. Right, I'm gonna get round some of these pictures. Hold on now. There we are. Let's have a bit more of a reveal. Here's a second picture. Now, what do you suppose that is, ladies and gentlemen? That is a second instalment of our let's try and get back to the can I get back to the show? There we are, back to the show. I've got this special gadget, you see, that has been flown in from America, and it works a treat. It's absolutely fantastic. Andy Dalgley says Dickie Vobes, brilliant. Dickie Vobes, yes, Dickie Vobes. I used to I used to want to have a comedy act called when I had the children. My children, when I had them, I've still got them. Obviously, I mean they're still around. But when they were small, I used to want to do a family show and dress them all up in clown outfits, not clown outfits, but like circus outfits, and be Dickie Vobes and the Vobettes. Dickie Vobes and the Vobettes. It was great. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live in here in this wonderful auditorium for your entertainment only, for one night this week, Dickie Vobes and the Vobettes. That's what I'm sorry if that was very loud. This probably came over very loud. I'm sorry about that. Is it an onion? Let's go back. Mark Selwood is... look at that, the second one. Base of an apple, says Martin Hicks. Looks like an orange, says Claire Leach. A number of people have finally already, just on two pictures. It's amazing how you've got that so well. Here we go, here's a third picture. I think that kind of gives it away. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. That was fun, though, wasn't it? That was fun. And here is the reveal. Yes, of course, it is a pomegranate. A lovely pomegranate there. So well done to Linda Kane not Linda Kane, sorry, Elaine Bray. I've got Linda Kane and Elaine Brazier are mixed up tonight. Well done, Elaine, for sending that in. Absolutely superb. Now, we want you, as well as going, hello, Richard, it's Dickie Vobes here. Oh, hello. As well as doing all that nonsense and sending in some stuff, we need some photos, some more of that. So, Elaine, well done. You've kicked us off. Brilliant. But can you do better? Can you make it more confusing? We want an object, nice big close-up that people can wonder what it is, and then we want two other pictures. One that pulls back slightly, and then one which is the reveal. Lovely Elaine gave us 4 pictures. I'll just show you those 4 in order again. Hang on a minute. Let's come back if I can do this. I can't remember how to do it. There we are. So we had a lovely close-up there. Then we had the pullback. Then we had even more pullback. And then we had the reveal, which gave it all away. So that's that. So that's what I want. If somebody fancies doing some of that and you've got an object you think, oh, this will mystify them, then send it in. Send it to me, richard@vobes.com. richard@vobes.com. Very easy to remember. And that would be good. It looks too orange, says Claire Leach. Have you got your Christmas tree up, says Daniel. By the way, I did have a Christmas card. It's in the other room. I will have to get it. My first Christmas card. I'll bring it in. Ed says, I'm catching up fast. We'll soon be watching the present day stuff. Can't wait. Ed, lovely to have you on board. I know you've been behind rushing and blitzing through the shows, which has been absolutely fantastic. How are we doing on the time here? 10:02, which is great. So I'm catching up. That's good. I haven't got my Christmas tree up, Daniel. No, not at the moment. It's not even in December. The Christmas tree, by the way, this year will be going up on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. There won't be any Christmas stuff before then. Don't want to hear that nonsense. The Salty Bell Spotter and the Craggy Bell Ringer says where to send it if I am 12 years old. Well, if you're 12 years old, still send it on an email. Old-fashioned email, Richard@Vobes, V for Victor, OBE, Order of the British Empire, S for Sugar. Vobes, of course, is very old broadcasting entertaining service. Very odd. That's what it used to be. Very odd broadcasting entertainment service, Vobes. VOBS, richard@vobes.com. So somebody can write that down for him. Get your mum to send it. Send 3 pictures, as I said before. That would be great. We'll put it in. The lovely Julia says, dang, can't hear the show because Joseph is now yelling at me. Joseph, stop it. Get Joseph near to the monitor with his ears and stuff, and I'll talk to him. Hello, Joseph. Hello. Ubby-bubba-doo. Ubba-bubba-boo. Oh, Joseph. I can go on doing that for hours. The lovely Julia, gets me to go round there, and as soon as I say, hello, Julia, how are you? She says, oh, nice to see you. Vroom. Baby thrust into my hand, thrust into my bosom. Hello, Joseph. And he's like, oh, it's the Vobes. And I'm, yeah, nip, nip, nip. Oh, hang on a minute. It can go a bit like this. So it's like, oh, da. Oh, yeah, oh, let's say sataba. Yabba, nabba, baba, dubba, oh, nada. Ni shabba, ni baba. No, shabba. Anyway, goes on like that for some time, ladies and gentlemen, much to the annoyance of anybody who happens to be else in the room. But meanwhile, Julia's nipped out. She's doing stuff around the house. She's like washing up and cleaning and hoovering and dusting and ironing and putting stuff into the spin dryer. Usually my car. Don't put my car in the spin. Oh, too late. And so she's. And then it's like, oh. And then she says, oh, do you want some lunch? I said, oh, yes, please. Bowl of soup. She says, right, Bing, I'll have the baby back now. Bye. Pushed out the door and away I go. Yeah, so you've got to be careful nipping around the lovely Julia's house because it's straight in. Hello, baby. Hello, baby. Yeah. Don't scare him. No, sorry, Mr. Ed says, seem to moat people celebrate Christmas. Oh, hang on. Going back to catch some of these. A man after my own heart, leave Christmas till Christmas Eve. Yes, you don't want any mucking about with all that, all this leading up to Christmas anymore. People spend so much money, don't they? They spend so much money. And then in the new year, they're broke. No need. You can celebrate Christmas. You can get a nice... in the old days, when I was a kid, you used to get a roll of newspaper, didn't you? And you'd just chop it round like this, pull it all out like that, and you had an instant newspaper Christmas tree. It was great because you could try and read the news at the same time. Apparently, I remember always the case when I was doing that, trying to pitch together the story. There was a story about some bloke who was nailed to a cross, which was, a bit of a shame, really. Although that happens in Easter, doesn't it? That's on the Easter tree. Or was it on the Easter bunny's bottom? Who knows? Tattooed on her bottom. One of the ladies of ill repute that we were talking about earlier. Ed says that's the correct way, in my opinion, Richard. The 12 days don't start until the 25th. Of course, that's right. 25th day. And you've got 12 days to forget about it. So drink as much as you can, eat as much as you can. And in the end, you think, what the hell was that all about? I don't know. I'll wait another 12 months to see if I can work it out. Which is the best thing to do it. The salty train spotter and bell ringer says, yes, I get it now. Just delaying because of the live stream. Yeah, it does do a bit of a delay. Sorry about that. Francis says, I've sent it to... Have you sent me an email already? I can't do it now in the show. It takes a bit of time to get it into the system. But for next time, on the Wednesday, it would be great. So if you have sent them in, I put them in a little folder. And I try not to lose my voice. I try not to forget them, you see. It seems most people celebrate Christmas mostly during the Advent season now, and not Christmas season at all. That's true, actually. Most people, you go into a shop and these Christmas puddings, you can buy your Christmas puddings and your mince pies, and they've gone out of date before Christmas Day. What's that all about? There you are thinking, oh, look, I've got all the mince pies are all ready. Christmas Day comes, you go to the cupboard, best before 23rd of December. Oh, no, open them up, mouldy as anything. Mouldy. Bit like this show. Julia says that the lovely Joseph has now settled. I'm very pleased about that. What else have we got here? Sellotape again. Sniffing sellotape. Kerry is getting a lump of coal for Christmas. That's a very good idea. Nice to keep people warm with that. No, I've sent Sally salty... Oh, bell ringer, your email. All right, fair enough. Robert, buy me one. I'm not quite sure what that is. iPhone 11 for my girl. Oh, iPhone 11. That's a lot of dosh, isn't it, for an iPhone 11? I think I've got an old A6 Samsung somewhere. I was charging it up yesterday to see if it worked. I don't know why. I thought I might use the monitor, you see. I know that I can use it. And I was just trying to find different ways to get things. Anyway, it didn't work. That didn't work. I am at the charity shop tomorrow, Richard. You can come down to the shop. I wonder if I could come down to the shop and make a video. What do you think? Would they let me come down to the shop and do a video about the shop for 10 minutes and have a look at some of the things? We could do that one day, couldn't we? Maybe not tomorrow, but in the future. You'll have to have a word with them. How are we doing on the old Timex? Well, it's 4 minutes to the end of the show. This has been an impromptu show, and apparently I've got to go and put my drag act on and go next door to see Mr. Suggett, which would be very nice. And I hopefully will buy me a nice black Americano coffee, which would be lovely. I don't want any of that alcohol nonsense. Need a kangaroo for Kevin. We'll get you a kangaroo. Put the wig on again. That was funny, says Dean Cooper. And I'm an obliging sort of chap. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. One moment. I've got to get ready for the off. There we are, look. So, Rude Paul, eat your heart out, I think. I think that looks... Hello, darling. Actually, anybody remember the Angels 5, were they? Angels 5 from UFO? That's very much like that. Do you remember UFO, the Jerry Anderson series? This is more like one of those. Or Space 1999. They all had these sort of bob haircuts, didn't they, back then, with the outrageous colours. More like that, more than Rude Paul on his drag act. But there we are. Robert Croser, can you buy me an iPhone? Everybody wants him to buy him an iPhone. Well, we can't, you see. You just can't do that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've kind of come to the end of the show. How are we doing? We've got 3 minutes to go. I think that's kind of it. And I'd knock it on the head early tonight. Just want to thank the lovely Fiona Cooper. The lovely Fiona Cooper who purchased some books for me. She knows I like my books. Here we go. Waterside Walks in Britain was one of them, which is a book by the AA. You can collect all 3 books. We've got nature walks, pub walks, and walks, whatever. So that was one. And she actually also got the Nature Walks in Britain too, which is a fantastic book. All of them, they've got little maps and things that you can have a look at. There we are. Look at that. Isn't it brilliant? I love having the extra camera here that we can just cut to. This has been a dream of mine to have all this lovely technical equipment. I have to thank the lovely Jeff in America who has supported the show in such an amazing way, making all this possible. Thank you, Fiona, and thank you for Dean, who parked his enormous Pantechnicon across the road, almost knocking Wemban Smith out of existence as he trotted over here. And brought these lovely books, and I shall be looking at these to see where I could go for a walk in some of these places. London, I don't want to go to London. Cardiff, yeah, I want to go to Cardiff, round Cardiff, that would be good. Herefordshire, I'm going to do these. Staffordshire, some lovely walks. So it's sort of 6 miles, 5.5 miles, and make some videos 6 miles. Yeah, that's about the right sort of length of time. Get an Airbnb, fly away, Peter, fly away, Paul, and go and do some of these walks. Nature and water. I love a bit of water, don't you? I can get my Speedos out and do a bit of water walking. Just like that man who was nailed to a cross at Easter time, walking on the water. Lovely. If only we could all do that and make a fortune, that would be nice. Last look at the messages. Dean's wives always make the credit. Dean's wives, I don't know about why that you put plural there. Techno. Good night, everyone, says Anne. Good show. Good game. All right, my love. Let's look at the old floorboard. Arthur and Aegis, 2 points. Ralph McTell, 9. So well done to you, Alf, and well done to you, Agnes. Good night, everybody. Good night, everyone saying good night. D. Bricks is talking about Kerry might get a Satsuma in a stocking. That's very lucky of her. That's always a tradition. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Elaine Brazier for the close-ups. Thank you to Andrew Norris for the video. Don't forget to send in your video. More on next Wednesday. Might do another impromptu show on the Friday as we make it closer into the winter and the dark days. Here to entertain you. Don't forget you can send all your stuff on wetransfer.com to richard@vobes.com. In the meantime, this has been me, the one and only Ricardo, or Dickie Vobes to his mates. Take care, have a lovely evening, and I will catch up with you soon. Tomorrow, by the way, in the Bald Explorer, the lovely Julia and I go vintage 1940s recipe cooking. The video is edited. It's waiting to go out. It will go out. It'll be out there tomorrow morning. So check that out. It will be absolutely fantastic. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. From me to you, goodbye. Goodbye.